very long.
No.
He certainly has a good-looking game. He's very balanced with his shooting. He penetrates very well. His balance is there. I think they can see great things from him later on.
Wofford's lead is down to 7. Borders streaks down the floor and missed the layup as Stukes pressured him to change his shot. And now ahead for the Bulldogs. They've got a 5-on-4. Stukes will take a 3, and he hits off the front of the rim. Adrisi had his rebound knocked away, and it comes to Fields. Fields out of control is going to be called for travel.
Wofford very rarely will make that kind of mistake. They take care of the basketball really well.
Dennis Felton was not happy with the three-pointer that Stukes just took when Georgia had a man advantage down here.
Well, he shot the ball a little quick, and the high pick is getting guys open, and you almost take that.
Tony is going to be fouled by Taylor. That's going to be number 2 on him.
As I said, Greg's a physical player, but he's taking it a little bit too far there.
Gaines works it around for the Bulldogs.
They're in a position for the 2-on-2 game.
Adrisi got fouled by Wilkerson.
And that is a very important foul right there.
That's 2 on him.
That's 2. Now, will they take him out? He has a tendency to back off from playing defense when he gets fouls on him. That could be a factor because they are attacking the inside.
Well, here's Adrisi at the line. It's only 1 of 4 from the line, but he hits that one. Tyler Berg's going to check in for Wilkerson, and they're going to get him on the bench to protect that foul situation.
Well, they need him on the floor, and that was a good coaching move to take him out.
In and out, but the ball comes to Adrisi, and Adrisi shot it too long on the putback, but Bliss got the rebound. They kick it around. They find the open man. Stukes missed the 3. Long rebound, and Borders beat Stukes to the ball and jammed it.
That just great effort got that basketball.
Yeah,
it was there for everybody, and that's what you call a hustle play, big time hustle play. Adrian Borders.
8-point lead for Wofford. Bliss down on the low post, gets doubled. Gets it up there with the left hand and powered it by 2 men.
Now you use the correct word, power. He's a powerful young man, a freshman with a lot of power. I like that.
Georgia's going to have a tough time this year, especially once they get into the Southeastern Conference. Fields back the other way, got fouled, and Fields is going to go to the line. Georgia's going to have a hard time as in the conference as we take another look at the hustle by Borders right here. He just beat Stukes to the ball.
Really did. Great effort, gets a basket, and that will do it for you. This young man's having an outstanding year.
Came in averaging just over 12 points per game.
And you know he made the big basket to beat Auburn. I mean, he makes a 3, and it's a contested 3.
Fields in and out on the first free throw. Going back to what I was talking about, Georgia's going to struggle this year in the Southeastern Conference, but Georgia fans ought to be able to look at this team and see where this thing's going to get better for Dennis Felton in a pretty quick hurry. He's got young ball players getting a ton of experience right now. Fields hits the second free throw, and then he's got a pretty good freshman class already signed up for next year, and it'll be great if Lewis Williams ends up playing here, although that is pretty doubtful, I think. Adrisi on the baseline, gets it to fall.
Boy, big-time basket right there on a ball going out of bounds. Another hustle play.
Ahead to Berg. Bliss beats him down the floor, though, and it's going to be Wofford's ball.
Wofford is going through a very cold stretch right now. They're 2 for their last 12.
After starting 7 of 8.
Yes, that's very difficult.
Ball was deflected by Stukes, but Wofford gets it back. Fields dishes to Berg. Berg left it short, got his own rebound. Adrisi got the block, but apparently got him with the body.
It must have been a body foul take place there. I tell you, if you are an inside post player, you will seal and you will get, you'll post up hard. Fields will get the ball to you. He gets in there, he sees the open man, and he delivers. Byron Fields.
Berg, a 61% free throw shooter, hits the first. Fields checks out of the ball game, and Drew Gibson checks back in. second one is left short, and Bliss grabs the rebound. Ahead it comes to Stoops. And a foul away from the basket. It's going to be called on Berg.
Berg is a guy that takes care of the inside, I don't know the word to use, but the hard work and the banging around the basket. He will bang. He will not back down. And consequently, he's in foul trouble.
That's what you coaches call the dirty work. He takes care of the dirty work.
I didn't want to say that when 1,260-some is the board score to get in down there, Wofford, up there at Wofford.
Well, smart people can do dirty work, too.
Oh, I didn't know. I never did have any of those. I was accused of that by Wimp Sanderson. Said my players didn't know the answer to hello. It took them an hour and a half, 60 minutes.
Adrisi converts at the line, and Georgia's back to within 4 now. There you see, one field goal in the last 5.5 minutes after getting off to a blistering start. They're 2 of 13 during that stretch.
Good.
Or 2 of 13 since going 7 of 8.
Yeah, I like their patience in their half-court offense. They really look for one another, and they are very court-aware.
Blocked by Stoops. A 2-on-1 for Georgia. Stoops will take it and lay it in.
Levi Stoops did a great job of protecting the basketball. Allowed the defender to slide by, held it to his back, came in, laid it in. That's a very difficult thing to do. It looks more simple than it actually is.
Georgia is down only 2 now, and now Marshall gets tied up. It's going to be Wofford's ball. Timeout on the floor as Georgia's come to life here at the Stegman Coliseum. 7:27 to play in the opening half. Wofford's lead is down to 2.
And Matt, like we're on air, Matt, I'll have to tell you, the biggest contributor to Georgia's run has been the 2 officials standing under the goal. That was not a block in the lane a minute ago, and that was a foul. It was not a jump ball. These boys have a nifty way of making things get even real quick. I've watched them work too many times. That's what you put. When you buy a game, that's what you're supposed to get.
Is that right?
Well, I believe it. Yeah, I really do. I think they're supposed to help you when you pay a team to come and see you play. Because you wouldn't have got them if you didn't think you're going to beat them. You wouldn't pay them $50,000, whatever they pay them. Whose ball is it? Whose ball is it after the last?
Wofford. Wofford's ball. Maybe they ought to practice this before they try doing it. Wofford up 2 with 7:27 to play in the opening half. Matt Stewart along with Sonny Smith. Keep up with the Georgia Bulldogs. Get all the highlights and the latest Bulldog news. You can watch it. It's the Dennis Felton Show. And it's on every Tuesday at 2:30 Eastern here on CSS, your source for Southeast sports.
I like the way Dennis Felton's got this young group playing together. And I also like the way they're so aggressive defensively. And they do it without getting in tremendous foul trouble because the depth is not good a lot.
Gibson tries to get it in for Wofford. Had some trouble, finally does get it into Marshall.
This young man, Gibson, with the balls out of Thomas More Prep, a very good prep school for basketball.
Inside, Berg off glass.
Well, Berg's going to have to come through for the Terriers because Wilkerson's in foul trouble and they need him badly. And he is a banger. He usually doesn't stay out very long because he will push, shove, do whatever he has to do.
Stooks takes a 3, long. Gibson gets the long rebound. And he's going to pull up inside the arc and miss. Bliss grabs the rebound for Georgia, and the Bulldogs want to run back at Wofford.
Well, they didn't have the numbers in. They didn't need to take that shot.
Tony in the paint, got a screen and went around it and got the basket.
He's feeling it. He's feeling it. You can see the confidence growing in his game.
2-point game again. Marshall had it, gives it up to Borders. Borders working on Stooks. Pulls up on the baseline, shot an air ball. Sunday out of Gaines will bring it up for the Bulldogs. He'll take it all the way to the hole, and he does. Had a shot blocked, however. And it's going to be Georgia's ball.
I thought Sundiata might trick us this time, pull up, shoot a jumper. You know where he's going when he gets the basketball.
Here's another look at the last Georgia basket. Nice move by Channing Tony to use Bliss as a screen.
He does a great job. I tell you, he's very court aware. He's got good balance. He seems to know where he is on the court at all times. And that's not many. That sounds like a crazy statement, but not many players know that.
Let's see if we can catch some of the substitutions here. Both teams making some changes. Brophy checks in for Georgia, and so does Gibbs.
And Wilkerson.
Wilkerson comes back in for Wofford. Gibbs in the paint. Tried to get it to fall. It's going to be off of Gibbs. Crowd didn't think so.
Well, he saved a foul, but not calling a foul. Gave him the ball back. We can go with that.
Here's a look at the field goal percentages for the half. You see how Wofford got off to a hot start, cooled off. Georgia got off to a slow start and is heated up. Wilkerson working against Adrisi. Stevens kicks out to Wilkerson, who will take a three and hit it.
Doesn't take many, but he is a difficult matchup because he plays in, he plays out. You don't go out with him, he will burn you.
Yeah, that's just his 8th three-point attempt of the entire season, but he hits it. It's a 5-point lead for Wofford.
You know, he's playing down in there at 6'6", and he does a tremendous job of sealing and hiding the basketball.
Adrisi left it on the rim. Georgia got it back, though, and Stooks draws the foul. Foul's going to be called on Byron Fields, so that's going to put Stooks at the line. So Stooks, a 64% free throw shooter, goes to the line for two.
Wofford got to do a little bit better job of sending 5 guys to the board because of the early baskets they got by leaking out, getting out ahead of everybody, snowbirding as they call it. They seem to be trying to get the same thing done. They need to be going to the backboard. They're losing too many chances at rebounds.
Stooks still stuck on 6 points. Fields brings it back the other way, kicks it out to Taylor for 3 and nails it.
Well, Coach Young told me that this young man worked so hard on his shooting and was getting better. So that's certainly probably a big lift for him right there.
Just a 30% three-point shooter. Stooks goes by Taylor, pulls up on the baseline, tried to draw a foul and didn't get a call. Wilkerson got the rebound, long outlet to Taylor. Stevens for 3, bang!
Used to be a great three-point shooter. Tore his knee up and it kind of hurt him a little bit, but he looked to be very balanced and looked like he might be on his way back.
Wofford 5 of 8 from behind the three-point line, including a pair of back-to-back threes by Wilkerson and then right there by Stevens.
You want to know why they're getting those threes? That's a kick out by Fields.
Actually, they've had 3 consecutive three-pointers. That was the second of the 3 by Taylor, and then here's the one by Stevens.
Taylor on a kick out. If you'll notice, most of their threes, Matt, is coming from penetration, drawing the defense in and kicking out, which is one of the best ways to get it, inside out.
And Wofford now has a 10-point lead on Georgia. Wofford 5 of 8 from behind the line. Georgia 1 of 5, which is not surprising. The Bulldogs shoot only 28% from behind the three-point line for the season.
Yes, and that is big. And Wofford shoots well above 40. Well, not well above 40, just barely above 40. I don't want to build them up, but you know the way the Bulldogs are playing right now, by shooting with their feet set, I think you're going to see that three-point average go up a little bit because they're doing a good job moving the basketball around the perimeter. They're looking for the high ball pick right now.
Well, Wofford at 37 points. They bounce it in. Georgia does, and now they kick it back out.
Inside out, one of the great ways to play with the 3 ball.
Stooks tries to bounce it inside to Adrisi, and he's going to be called for traveling. Back to the point I was going to make, Wofford at 37 points. This season, they are undefeated when scoring more than 70, and they're well on that pace right now.
Yeah, well, they're a solid basketball team. did they appear to you to be a little bit leg weary right there about 5 minutes ago, and they made numerous substitutions, and all of a sudden they were re-energized? Maybe the back-to-back games bothered them a little. I don't know. With the good depth they got, maybe it should.
Well, they got off to a great start and kind of hit a lull there, but 3 consecutive three-pointers have really given them a lift. As the ball is off of Taylor, Channing Tony will check in for the Bulldogs, and Sunday out of Gaines will go to the bench.
Greg Taylor didn't think it touched him, so he's going out to think about it.
Brophy brings it up for the Bulldogs. Back door, they go to Stoops, and he puts it in.
That's 2 times that Sam Daniels and Berg have not communicated defensively and lost a man.
Bulldogs back to within 8, under 4 minutes to play in the half. They have Daniels out there on the wing, and then he tries to dump it inside to Berg, and Stoops jumps real high and steals the pass.
Well, that's one of the problems when you're a big guy stepping out. You're usually not a good passer and a good shooter, and that kind of throws you in a little bit of trouble.
3:37 to play in the opening half. Wofford leads Georgia 37-29.
Gerald's going down and tell him he missed that call.
Oh, is that what he said?
Because Gary told him he did too, because Gary was over on that side.
Which Bulldogs voted the SEC Player of the Week? Was it A, Steve Newman, B, Sunday out of Gaines, C, Levi Stoops, or D, Channing Tony? Georgia fans, you can help them out if you know the right answer.
What did he say?
Coming up at the half.
And that is correct. C, Levi Stoops. Thanks for playing. Today's Bulldog Friend of the Game trivia question is sponsored by the Real Yellow Pages.
This game right now at this point should not be close. They're staying close because they're more aggressive right down that backboard. These guys are. That's the only way you win a game, play hard out. And they do.
That's the only way, yeah. That's the only way Georgia's got a chance to win any game.
They got. Well, they're doing that right now.
.337 to play here in the opening half. Wofford a 37-29 lead on the Georgia Bulldogs. Coming up at the half, Sonny and I look at some of the other scores from around the Southeast on this Sunday afternoon. Plus, we'll have highlights from the first half and the first half statistics.
Wofford has used more players, Matt, than Georgia has. And Wofford's got 11 points off the bench, consequently. That has been a big lift. 7 points for Georgia. But Georgia right now, whether the stats would show it or not, they're banging the boards just a little bit harder than the Terrors are.
And Wofford has an 8-point lead, and for those tuning in around the Southeast, surprised to see that. Don't be. This Wofford team is a fine ball club. As we mentioned top of the broadcast, they've already beaten Auburn. They had Tennessee on the ropes. Legitimately could have won that ball game and had
Could have
Miami.
won the Miami game.
Yeah, they had a chance with 4 seconds to play to tie that game. Ended up losing 67-64. And they play another Southeastern Conference school coming up in a couple of weeks. December 31st, they'll be at South Carolina. Stevens for 3. Hit it.
I tell you, I talked to Coach Young about Stevens. He was telling me what a player they thought he was going to be. Devastating knee injury, and now he's back from it and doing very well, and he's a Georgia kid.
11-point lead for the Terriers. And there you see the 3-point difference here. Wofford has gotten 15 more points from behind the arc than the Bulldogs. Brophy bounces it inside to Gibbs, who's doubled. Back to Brophy for 3, and he hit it.
He might not be a walk-on long because that's what they need more than anything else, and he steps out and knocks down a big 3.
8-point lead for Wofford following the 3 by Brophy.
It's amazing, Matt, how a 3-point shot will energize your team defensively. You ever notice they get a little bit more hop in their step?
Well, Daniels going to take one, and he hits it.
Oh, he says it beautiful. Only problem with Sam, he steps out, he better shoot it because he doesn't pass it real well.
Wofford's on. I think they've hit 5 in a row. I think they've hit 5 in a row, though. I think
they've hit 7 threes, and that's 5 in a row, I believe.
11-point lead for the Terriers. Inside to Bliss. Little baby hook. Couldn't get it to fall off the hands of Berg. It's going to be Georgia's ball. Believe it or not, though, Wofford off to a 7-2 start. They were picked to finish 5th out of the 6 teams in the SoCon Southern Division.
Well, that's a great league. I mean, it's a very, very competitive league. There was a lot of starters returning in the league. So because of where they finished a year ago, because of all the injuries they had some devastating injuries a year ago, they're much better than people think.
I think they've proven that in the first 6 weeks of the season. Inside it goes. They tried to, and it's knocked away. And here comes Gibson on the run. Bounced to Borders, who couldn't run it down, and it's going to be Georgia's ball.
That was not a well-planned play by Gibson. He needed to hold it up because he did not have the numbers.
Here it is, trying to force it through.
2 players. And actually, that call
looked like it was off. It looked like it was off Brophy.
Call could have gone either way.
Brophy behind the back to Adrisi. All Adrisi needs is some seasoning because this guy's got great athletic ability. He's just got to learn how to play the game. Tony takes a 3 and hits it.
Well, you can tell he's feeling it. He's got great confidence. It might be good to come down the court and give him the ball 2 or 3 times in a row because he looks to me like he might be a streaker.
Well, he's got 9 of Georgia's 35. He's their leading scorer in this ballgame. Inside to Berg, and he'll deliver.
I'll tell you what, that was emphatic. That was strong. Lots expected of Tyler Berg because he has to play a lot of minutes because Wilkerson does not play big minutes.
Bliss up top now. They just let him walk in and take a shot, and he hit it.
I think he might be a 4-man playing 5 by the looks of that shot. Anybody can make an outside shot with the defense that they play makes them an effective basketball team.
And a timeout called here by Wofford as they have an 8-point lead with just under 36 seconds to play.
When you seal effectively on the post, look what happens for you. Now, there's a good seal. Pushes the defender up the lane. He's got a wide open alley to the basket, making it an easy dunk. The rotation was there, but when you seal and get open that much, now you're going to watch a man that maybe have been a 4-man, but he's got the 5-man body on a team that's kind of shackled because of not much depth.
I tell you what, anybody who loves the underdog would pull in Terriers. They are the second smallest school in Division I athletics. Only Centenary is smaller, and they are the smallest school that fields both a football and basketball team. They play Division I AA. Get this, out of the 550 male students they have on their campus, 95 of them are on the football team. That's 1 out of every 5 male students at Wofford is on their football team, which is pretty darn good, by the way.
And they were very good in football this year.
They were 8-3 this year. They played in the national semifinals last year. Borders had his shot blocked by Bliss. Comes to Tony with 20 seconds to play in the half.
I believe this is the best I've seen Bliss look. He's really aggressive. He's looking to score.
Down under 10 seconds, and now a foul is going to be called on Stevens, reaching in on Brophy, and that'll put Brophy at the line for the 1-1.
Well, you didn't want somebody to score with the clock dead, with just that much, not much time left on the shot clock. And the timeout was to increase the defense, take away the 3, force them into a drive, and end up with a foul.
Brophy actually gets 2 shots here. He's an interesting story. Played his junior year of high school ball at Savannah Memorial Day, but he's from Australia, and because of Georgia eligibility rules, he'd used up his eligibility, so he couldn't even play his senior season.
Is that right?
So he's been out of basketball for a year before he walked on at Georgia.
I tell you what, he might become more of an interesting story if he makes a couple of threes for them. They just lost that second shot by a step into the lane by Adrisi.
Dennis Felton. Not happy about that.
Well, Dennis is a disciplined guy. His teams are disciplined. He does a solid job on both ends of the court, and all the things that they've gone through.
Daniels, long 3, clock winding down, and that's going to do it. into the first half. And a 45-point first half for the Wofford Terriers after scoring 84 points last night in Charleston. 8-point lead for the Terriers.
We thought they might be a little leg worried. No.
Stick around. We have halftime coming up for you after this timeout. Yeah.
52% for the field for Wofford.
Okay.
Yeah, Sam, I know he's a 3-point. Rebounds about even, aren't they? Turnovers, not a factor. Right now it's 3-point shooting, isn't it? And
3-point shooting, and Georgia just got the hole and they can't come back.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'd say the big thing for Georgia is help off the bench has been quite good late in the ball. All right, got to keep this behind me now, Matt. How am I going to do that? By putting that right there, I think I'm okay. Get that out of the way. Thank you, Tim.
We do have today games? Okay. We're going to go through like the SEC standings and talk about some of the scores from yesterday.
You want me to comment on those? You go ahead.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So we're gonna do SEC.
Congratulations to Jessica Schimmelberger and Ryan Shearer. They go Dawson City, Colorado later this season in the 6th annual Shooter Tuition Contest sponsored by the Athens Herald.
And welcome back. Halftime at the Stegman Coliseum in Athens, Georgia, where the Wofford Terriers lead the Georgia Bulldogs 45-37. Matt Stewart along with Sonny Smith. And Sonny, let's take a look at the Southeastern Conference standings, starting with the Eastern Division. No conference play yet, but overall, Kentucky number 1 at 7-1, no surprise there. But South Carolina at 5-2 and having another good season.
Well, South Carolina played great last year. Tremendous pressure defense, and now they hadn't been able to shoot the ball well, but they almost had a great win over Kansas yesterday.
All right, let's take a look at the Western Division standings. And Alabama at one point, don't know whether they still are, but at one point this season, they were the highest scoring team in the country. But Coach Gottfried having a fabulous season.
Well, the big guys for Alabama have stepped up. They're stronger. They're more physical than they were a year ago. Ronald Steele has stepped in at the point and has been outstanding as a point player. I think this could be one of the best teams in the league, Alabama.
All right, let's take a look at some scores from around the Southeastern Conference on Saturday. And what a ball game yesterday with Kentucky beating Louisville. Patrick Starks, recruited by Dennis Felton at Western Kentucky, transferred to play for Tubby Smith and put on quite a show yesterday.
And he brought him back from the dead with that last move. A great pump fake, jumps into the guy, knocks down 3. And he looked like he was just made for that. I didn't even think he was going to miss any of those threes. And that's an outstanding addition. You look for Kentucky to get better and better as they go along because their recruits are excellent.
Arkansas was a winner, and so was Ole Miss. And how about Southern Miss, who we're going to see tomorrow night in the Coors Classic in Mobile, a big win over LSU in overtime.
Well, we might know that Larry Eustace would get it done there. He has a track record of getting it done. It's good to see him back in the game, and that will be great for Conference USA for him to be have that team solid every night.
And Rick Stansberry's got his Mississippi State Bulldogs playing very well, a big win over Xavier last night, and South Carolina had Kansas on the ropes.
Ooh, did they?
And couldn't pull it off.
Well, I think the thing about Mississippi State is Lawrence Roberts has yet to play like Lawrence Roberts. And when he does step up, with the other guys stepping up and playing, Mississippi State will be a factor in this race also. That LSU loss is one that bugged me a little bit.
And one score from today where the Florida Gators were big winners over Georgia Southern. That's the one SEC ball game here on this Sunday afternoon, aside from Georgia and Wofford. Halftime here where Wofford leads Georgia by 8. We'll come back and show you some SoCon stores right after this timeout.
Is this me?
Yeah. Okay.
We can take them back now. We're going to be back on again.
Yeah, we're back on again.
We're going to look at stats
SoCon.
and highlights.
SoCon.
SoCon first.
The Wofford Terriers leading the Georgia Bulldogs 45-37. Sam Daniels, leading scorer. There you see him right there, number 32. 9 points for Sam Daniels in the first half. Yep, 3 of 4 from behind the three-point line. And for the Georgia Bulldogs, Channing Toney has been the man. 9 points for Channing Toney in the first half. In 18 minutes of action, he was 3 of 6 from the floor. Score his 9 points.
We did not see Steve Newman very much in the first half. And I think, I don't know what that was about, but Adrisi was playing very well. He became a factor. And Bliss became more aggressive and stayed. I think a real key in this ball game is going to be foul trouble. Which team can stay out of foul trouble?
At this point, the only real foul trouble, Steve Newman has 2 fouls for the Georgia Bulldogs. He picked up his 2 fouls very quickly in the ball game.
Dennis may be a man that likes to take him out with 2. I was that way a lot. Some guys will let them get to 3rd before they take him out. I think it's better to take him out with 2.
There are 4 Wofford Terriers with 2 personal fouls as we start the second half. Marshall, Wilkerson, Taylor, and Berg.
Now, Wofford does not need to give up offensive rebounds to the Bulldogs because that's where they've been effective, taking the second chance opportunities and converting them. They don't need to let that happen.
Dogs down by 8 as we start the second half. Toney couldn't get it to fall. Rebound pulled down by Wilkerson.
Wilkerson does it all, brings it up. He's playing the point now.
Hands off to Marshall, who takes a 3. A little long. Gaines gets the rebound for the Bulldogs.
Eric had not had many looks at the basket, so consequently I think he wanted to get on the board quick, but that was not a good shot.
Bounce in to Bliss, who's doubled. Nice pass to Stukes. Keeps it alive. Dishes to Toney, who hits. He's got 11.
They have not been able to come up with the loose ball the Terriers and the Bulldogs have, and it resulted in a beautiful play.
Borders. Marshall works on Toney. Now Borders takes a 3. Newman grabs the rebound for the Bulldogs, who can cut it below 5.
Well, they're controlling the game on the backboard right now. They're attacking inside, and that's been big. Inside out on a pass.
Wilkerson just picked up his 3rd foul.
I'm telling you, I think foul trouble will be a big factor in this ball game, and that's the guy they need to have in the ball game. And that basically was a foolish foul.
No, they didn't call it on Wilkerson. They called it on Marshall away from the ball. I thought they had whistled Wilkerson when the pass went into Bliss, but it's on Marshall instead.
Well,
so that's going to be the 3rd on Marshall. So that sends him to the bench, and Taylor checks in. He's got 2 fouls too. Stukes comes around, finds an open shot it long. Here comes Wilkerson, had it stolen from behind by Newman, but it's out of bounds.
I tell you what, Wofford does not have the hop in their step right now. They're not playing aggressive as they normally play, and a dead leg situation may be a factor before this is over.
Well, they played yesterday in Charleston as Borders swings it across to Fields. Bounces it to Wilkerson. Glances over his shoulder, tries to back in on Bliss and gets around Bliss and laid it in with the left hand.
And the thing about that, he beats a double team. Santiago Gaines was down there to double up, and he did a good job of splitting the double team and getting the score.
Stolen by Wilkerson. They've got a 3-on-1, and Fields draws the foul, and he'll go to the line. Brophy will be whistled for the foul.
Now that's a classic example of a blown opportunity because Wilkerson held the ball in the middle with the best point guard in the league out there on the wing, and it ended up being the point guard taking the shot, Wilkerson making the pass.
So Fields at the line.
He is not a good free throw shooter. No. I hate to say that to start something because everybody always talks about the jinx. But being a point guard, this is a guy that needs to be a good free throw shooter, and he looked very, very good on that one.
I don't think you'd be jinxing him to say that he's shooting only 41% from the free throw line this season, although he hit that one right there.
And that's critical because your point guard is going to be the guy that goes to the line the most.
Well, I mean, that puts you in a situation where late in the game, you got to take him out. In a tight ball game, you got to take him out.
That's not good.
Because he's your ball handler. He's the guy who's going to get fouled. He's the guy that the other team's going to be putting on the line. You got to take him out of the game.
That's a big point right there. You're right.
Stoops tries to go by Borders, finds a spot on the baseline, then had a shot blocked by Borders.
Well, I like the way the Bulldogs are attacking the basket. They're attacking the paint, taking it to the rim, and that's going to create foul situations, and it already has, and they're going to get something good out of that. They get some kickouts, they can knock down an outside shot, they're going to be right in this thing.
Inbounds came to Brophy. Adrisi checked in for Newman, and then the ball is stolen, and Bliss is going to be called for a foul. And Fields is looking at Bliss and saying, "What are you doing?" He hog-tied him.
Well, he reached and grabbed him and held him. That should have been an intentional going for the basket right there.
Oh, it slowed down the break.
Just took away a basket.
Fields working on Gaines, bounces it down low, and Wilkerson draws the foul, and he'll go to the line.
I'll tell you what, they did a great job of freeing him up with a back screen. He comes across the lane wide open, ended up getting the ball a little bit deeper than he normally wanted to, but this guy, he can step away from the basket, make one dribble moves as well as anybody.
Well, Bliss is now in foul trouble after committing that really silly foul where he held Fields up here at the foul line, or rather at the half-court line. Now he picks up another quick one. He's got 3 fouls.
Well, we thought foul trouble would be a factor in this because depth right now is not something that it's a luxury for the Bulldogs.
And Bliss is going to come out. Newman's going to check back in. We'll see how long Bliss is on the bench, but he's got 3 personals.
Well, I think they need him because he adds a physical nature to the game that they absolutely need.
Wilkerson missed them both.
Blew them both, and he's a good free throw shooter, and he leads the league in 4 categories. This is a guy they need to get heavily involved in the game.
Channing Tony bounces it into Newman. Newman's being doubled. Now they find Tony, and he had to get rid of it. It was a bad pass. Stoops drives the paint and lays it in.
You're not going to see a much better drive than that.
Back the other way, Borders trying to beat the defense down. Lays it off for Wilkerson. Had his shot changed by Adrisi, and here comes Georgia. Gaines drew the foul and got the basket.
Well, I can see why he's kind of tunnel vision when he gets the ball. He's going to take it to the hole because he knows how to adjust the ball in the air. There's a great skip pass across. Now watch Levi Stoops as he darts in and out, goes around and makes a beautiful drive to the basket. They are attacking the paint very well right now. And that's Santiago Gaines, something he does extremely well is take it to. In fact, that's about the only thing he's been doing is taking it to the hole.
Missed the chance at the 3-point play.
A little zone being shown by the Bulldogs, which was a good move, by the way.
It's a 5-point game. Terriers up. 2.5 minutes into the second half. Wofford with a 5-game winning streak. It's their longest winning streak since joining Division I 10 years ago. Nice ball movement by Wofford to get it to Wilkerson, and he couldn't get it to fall. Tried to draw a foul and get the basket. He got neither. Down on the deck, jump ball is called. It's going to be Wofford's ball.
Jump ball position, Wofford.
You know, with the three-point shooting, I'm surprised a little bit to see Georgia in a zone, but not all of the three-point shooters are on the floor right now. Sam Daniels checks in to anytime as quick as they went to the zone, Sam Daniels, a three-point shooter, checks in.
Fields weaves through the defense and threw it up with the left hand and drew a foul, and that's a poor foul on Georgia because Fields had no chance of getting that shot.
Unless Fields can knock down the free throws, that's exactly right. But
you're right about that.
Yeah, he needs to be able to hit these free throws because with his ability to see people and draw fouls, he needs to be a free throw shooter, and 2 more three-point shooters checking in.
Berg, Stevens, and Gibson going to check in for Wofford after the free throw. Fields hit it.
Daniels going out, so I don't think that they'll stay in the zone, I would think.
Yeah, Daniels and Borders came out, and Gibson will check in for Fields if he hits the free throw.
And he did. Hit them both.
So back to a 7-point lead for Wofford.
You know, Fields is the kind of guy that a lot of college recruiters would overlook because he doesn't do anything fancy. He just gets it done, and you don't recognize that all the time when you see a guy as a high school player, but he evidently has good college credentials.
Gaines goes inside to Newman.
They've made a solid commitment to doubling Newman, and the reason being is they got him oversized in there right now.
Georgia needs to find a way to get the ball back into the hands of Channing Tony, who had the hot hand in the first half. Bird got fouled after he beat Tony underneath.
And that was if there's such thing as a good foul, that was a good foul right there. Prevented the basket. A lot of coaches will use the philosophy: don't give up a layup.
Timeout on the floor. 4 minutes and 22 seconds into the half, and Wofford still has a 7-point lead on Georgia. Wofford up 7 on Georgia. Matt Stewart and Sonny Smith with you at the Stegman Coliseum coming up Tuesday night on CSS. Clash of the Titans as Pat Summitt and the Lady Volunteers welcome in the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford, one of only 7 teams to beat the Lady Vols there at Thompson-Poling Arena in the past 17 years. Stanford and Tennessee. NCAA women's basketball coming up Tuesday night at 7 right after sports night here on CSS.
Pat's got another outstanding team.
What else is new?
What else is new? Well, she can coach them up.
Berg at the line for 2.
Not a great free throw shooter, but knocks that one down. Every time you say that, a guy's free throw looks like he's been leading the nation in free throw shooting. But that was he had good look at the goal. His follow through is great. They expect a lot out of this young man if they're going to be a factor in the Southern Conference.
9-point lead for Wofford. Georgia just has not been able to get over that hump.
A little pressing action taking place. San Diego Gaines is going to the hole.
And takes it all the way and lost it. It's going to be a foul on Gaines.
Well, you can give him one. That aggressive nature as a freshman is something you just can't buy. I think you take a look at him. He's got his head up. He should have been able to avoid that play.
Ran into Berg. Berg drew the foul. Gaines leads the Bulldogs in free throw attempts. You see why? Because he drives to the hole all the time. He can become this season the first Georgia guard to lead the team in free throw shooting since, or first point guard since Laterial Green.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I can see why that could be such a factor. And he had 17 points, I think, is the most, but a freshman. Maybe Dominique Wilkins was the first guy. Is that correct?
That's right, against Western Kentucky in his opening game.
He's shown me a lot. I just wonder what he could do if you made him shoot the ball out.
Well, we haven't seen him take anything more
well,
than
I wouldn't either if I could go to the goal like that. Georgia's been great on out-of-bounds situation, dead ball situation. They D you up now. You watch it. And this team is good on scoring on out-of-bounds plays, but they're not getting anything off the Bulldogs because they defend so well. They're going to have a hard time getting it in.
Gibson can't get it in and finally does to Berg.
Well, that's good coaching.
There you see the field goals by Wofford off to a very slow start here in the second half.
Well, they're going to stay in a false start, and they get the ball in the hands of people that can control it and get people in positions where they can score. They're not aggressively attacking the goal right now. They're on, what is it, 1 for 6, I believe, at this point.
Corey Gibbs checks in for the Bulldogs, and Eunice Idrisi comes out. And Gibbs is a guy, he's a big body. He was a great high school player here in the state of Georgia. First at Pace Academy, then he transferred to Redan, but had a big, serious knee injury his senior year. And he's basically just now coming back from that knee injury 2 years later.
Well, it takes a while. People have got to know.
Foul away from the basket, and Gaines took a long shot for you. Took a shot outside.
I liked the way, he had his feet set. He got a good look at the basket. He looked balanced in his shot. I think you're going to see some good things out of him.
Oh, I think so, too. They love him. He's out of Archbishop Malloy in Jamaica, New York. And
he plays hard. And that's something a freshman doesn't realize, the speed and the power of this college game as opposed to high school.
Marshall working on Tony. They bounce it inside to Berg. Quick hands from Gibbs. Knocked it away. It's down on the floor, and Georgia comes away with it. Gibbs long outlet to Stooks. Stooks got fouled and didn't get the ball to roll for it, though.
That was an aggressive attacking of the goal by the Terriers, but Berg unable to hang on to the ball.
So look at the hustle here. And the ball comes out to Gibbs.
Now both teams will give you the effort. Georgia playing with just a little bit more high energy right now than the Terriers are. And you're going to expect that out of a Dennis Felton team, and you also expect that out of a Mike Young team because they're both young, very good young coaches.
Stooks got one of the two. This is the first time Georgia's been in the Stegman Coliseum in 5 days. They had it shut down for a graduation ceremony, so Georgia's been having to practice at the Student Center this entire week. Stevens got his dribble back. Gibson takes a three and hits it.
Last time I saw this young man play, he had 11 points against Auburn. Took a big shot late in the ball game and hit it. He's a real deal out of Los Angeles, California, Thomas More Prep.
11-point lead for Wofford again. It's their biggest lead of the game. Gaines drives and threw it up there wild. Gibbs kept it alive, though.
Well, that's a great hustle play by Gibbs. They're physically going after the ball on the board.
And a blocking foul.
And that's a good call.
And that's in Marshall's fourth.
One of the great officials in the game calling here today.
Gerald Boudreau.
Yes, he is. How many Final Fours? Probably 3. He's been there. This guy really is outstanding.
So Marshall goes to the bench with his 4 personals. Inbounds to Gibbs. He's doubled and muscled it up there, but couldn't get it to fall. Alex Evans is in the ballgame for the first time for Georgia tonight.
Good job by Wofford to control the rebound. Georgia is really attacking the offensive boards.
Jumper in the corner. Left short by Stevens, but Bird got the rebound and put it in.
Went up over a guy's back without fouling. He tips the ball up in the air. Great court presence by Bird.
13-point lead for the Terriers. Georgia has not scored in the last 3.5 minutes. Not from the floor, at least. Evans inside to Newman. Newman tried to spin on Berg, and Berg fouled him, and that's going to be number 3 on Berg.
I believe Daniels might have got him there.
Oh, Daniels, you're
Yeah,
right.
he had switched over on a switch. And by the way, I can see how you can miss that. I look up and they look like, maybe they might be related, those two guys.
They're pretty close.
They really are.
Daniels now has 2 personals, and that leaves Berg with 2 personals.
Now you got Borders back in the game, and you got Fields back in the game. I think you're going to see a little bit better sharing of the basketball by the Terriers, where you make the shots, we'll have to see.
Evans bounces inside to Bliss. Bliss muscled it in.
I tell you what, I think the kid's going to have a very good SEC career. He's powerful, he's strong, he hides the basketball, he knows what to do when he gets the ball in the post.
Borders switching off on the screen. Newman got called for a blocking foul. That's going to be number 3 on him.
Well, Steve works really hard at the game, but he does commit some foolish fouls. And anytime you've got an aggressive nature like that, that's going to happen to you.
Well, Bulldogs go deep into their bench, and 6'5" freshman Matt Womack out of Cumming, Georgia, checks in. And what a story Matt Womack is. Georgia, depleted because of all these issues they've had open tryouts on campus at the end of October. Matt Womack made the team, and he's playing here today.
That is a story right there. At major college basketball level in the SEC,
Doesn't happen.
Anytime a player makes the team as a walk-on, he usually doesn't get any time. And now they're playing 2 walk-ons out here today.
Yeah, out there on the floor right now, they have Womack and Evans. Stoops drives, changes his shot, couldn't get it to fall, but the tip in, we'll see who got that basket.
I believe Womack might have got it.
Borders got pushed by Stoops.
I believe Womack got that little tip in. Let's see if we can find the culprit.
Let's see, who touched it?
Womack.
Was it Womack? Yeah,
Womack.
Yeah, it was. Womack got it with the right hand.
Actually, I was pulling for the walk-on. I've been a walk-on most of my life, so I wanted him to score the big hook.
He got the basket there.
Now Georgia's got to do one thing. They got to make the play on the other end and stop fouling down when they come back the other way. Now, as you see, after the substitution of the guys, the veterans that have been playing, they started forcing play just a little bit more, and that's creating foul trouble for Georgia.
Borders missed the second one, and Bliss got the rebound.
And he's their best free throw shooter, I believe, and he just did not concentrate on that. Maybe the 2 games affecting Adrian more than the other guy.
Bliss drives down. They pick him up at the foul line.
They need to get Stoops some looks with the group that's in the game right now. Stoops is the man that needs to get the basketball. And they're going to put it in his hands.
He's working on Borders, though. Borders won't give him an inch. Down to 3 on the shot clock. Gaines down to 1. Has to take that shot, and he hit it.
Well,
Three-pointer.
we asked the question, can he shoot the ball from the outside? I think he just answered the question.
A 3-pointer as the shot clock was down to 1, and the Bulldogs are back to within 8. Borders got a screen, didn't take advantage of it. Bounces the ball to Berg, or rather Taylor, and he's going to be called for traveling.
Among other things.
Timeout on the floor with 11:22 to play. Wofford leads Georgia by 8.
That kid got fouled twice before he ever walked, didn't he?
He got killed.
Back, get close again. They need to get Wilkerson back in the game, get him the ball down low. Get rid of all that pressure.
Where's, oh, that's at the Georgia Dome. Wofford up 8 on Georgia with 11:22 to play. Here's your opportunity to see the Southeastern Conference basketball tournament at the Georgia Dome in person. Enter the CSS March Mania sweepstakes for your chance to take in all the action of the 2005 tournament live. Register to win a trip for 2 to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament in Atlanta, and that includes event tickets and hotel accommodations. To do that, you got to log on to our website, css-sports.com, to enter. And good luck.
Matt, you know this second half has been a game of spurts. Georgia spurted early, now Wofford spurted. Now Georgia's kind of back on a run this game. We'll see who's spurting at the end to see who wins this basketball.
Evans up top. Wilkerson took a swipe at it, didn't get it, tried to bounce it into Bliss, and it had kicked away by Wofford.
One thing Georgia's doing right now is they're attacking the post. I guess they're getting it in, trying to kick it out and free up Stokes a little bit.
Inbounds comes to Stooks. He was looking inside. His second kick ball by Borders.
Well, they're getting a lot of new clocks here on the kicks. A lot of footwork taking place out there.
So back to 35 on the shot clock.
Wide open.
Evans underneath. Had his shot swatted away by Wilkerson. Evans was in a spot he didn't want to be in.
You know, we talked earlier about out of bounds plays, dead ball situations. Wofford being good. Actually, Georgia's done an excellent job of freeing up people on out of bounds. Got an early wide open layup and pretty much got one right there and got it blocked.
Evans comes out. Channing Tony comes back in. He had 9 in the first half, but only 2 here in the second half.
Yeah, they need to get him some touches. He's a young man that's playing with a lot of confidence.
There he is right there. Takes a 3 and hits it.
Okay, I like his game. Big time 3. Right back in the ball game.
Georgia cuts Wofford's lead to 5. Wilkerson trying to back in on Bliss, and a foul on Bliss, and that's number 4.
Take a look at a well-executed play. A great screen, knocking down a 3 from outside on a beautiful pass. Well-designed play. And they're getting a player that was very, very good in the first half getting involved in the game in the second half. That certainly helps things.
Georgia doing a little bit better job on the 3-pointers here in the second half. Wilkerson at the line because Wofford's in the bonus, and he hits the first.
You know, Wilkerson is a guy that usually plays with high energy, and we have not seen that from him in the second half. He might be showing a little bit of effects of the back-to-back games playing last night. But here's a guy that can do a lot of things. We've even seen him step out and hit a 3 today. He's got 10 points and 6 rebounds at this point.
Gibbs checks in for Bliss. He goes to the bench with 4 fouls. Wilkerson hit them both, and it's a 7-point lead again for Wofford. And a foul on the inbounds. It's going to be called on Fields.
He must have hit him in the. He
fouled him with his
hit him in his elbow with his mouth, didn't he?
So now Wofford drops out of the full court pressure. Tony gets the screen. Works on his man Taylor. Gives it up to Womack, who puts it on the floor and lost the dribble. Stolen by Borders, but Womack dug it away from him. Now things get a little testy.
Very aggressive play by the Georgia Bulldogs. Just kept them in this ball game. Aggressive play on the backboard, aggressive play defensive, keep pressure on the dribbler all the time.
Now Womack loses the dribble. Borders stole it away, but Womack took it back from him, and then Daniels knocked him over. And that's when things got a little...
This game's getting a little physical right now. You got some big bodies in there from a weight standpoint.
Stoops takes a 3 with 6 on the shot clock and missed it. It's knocked out by Wofford. It's going to be Georgia's ball.
Well, the big thing for the Georgia Bulldogs is they're getting second opportunities because they're attacking the offensive glass. They may not get the ball, but they're not letting you get it. They're knocking it off somebody and getting it back.
Berg checks in for Daniels.
Daniels not a good defensive or offensive rebounder. Great outside shooter for a big guy. Berg is a rebounder.
Stoops had it knocked away by Borders.
Georgia has 10 second chance points at this time, and they have earned those. They have really been attacking the board, been attacking the dribbler. They've been getting on loose balls, and that's the way you got to win when you're limited in your depth and you're also limited in experience, and Georgia's definitely both of those.
Coach Mike Young changes out his guards and takes Fields and Borders out and puts Stevens and Gibson in.
I think he's saving that for the end.
Tony hits another 3. That's a career-high 17 for Channing Tony.
Well, we talked about when they put the ball in his hands each time down the floor because he's a rhythm shooter, and they did that, and he got 2 threes in a row.
And a foul, I believe, on Corey Gibbs. Let's take another look at the basket by Channing Tony. This gives him 17 on the day.
And he did that without a screen. The man just did not chase him hard enough. And he is really working to get the basketball right now. Playing without the basketball is one of the real keys to winning.
That's 1 point better than the career-high 16 he had against Alabama A&M earlier in the season. Wilkerson at the line for 2.
We got a ball game on our hands here. I'll tell you that right now.
Wofford's lead is 5, and we've got lots of time to play. Anything can happen with 9:41 to play.
Absolutely.
One team could blow out the other in that amount of time, or it could stay close the entire time.
Well, you know, the one thing that's interesting is the Bulldogs have pretty much taken away the 3 ball that the Terriers were living by in the first half. Now, they're still able to knock down a couple, but I tell you what, they're not getting the good looks that they did earlier.
5-point lead for Wofford.
Tony working extremely hard to get open.
Gaines drives, had it knocked away, got it back and got fouled as he just threw up a prayer, so he'll go to the line for 2.
One freshman to another said, I'm going to outwork you for this ball, and Santiago Gaines did outwork Drew Gibson.
So Gaines at the line for 2 with a chance to cut Wofford's lead down to 4. Missed the first. Georgia has just been abysmal from the line this season.
Well, we said earlier that foul trouble might be a factor in this. We should have said whoever makes the fouls shots are free throw.
Gaines hit the second.
Wofford's only had 2 field goals in the last 4 minutes and 45 seconds. They got to attack the basketball and get something, not all free throw.
Traveling down on the baseline as Stevens is called for the infraction. So Georgia has a chance to cut it down to 3 with a basket here, a 2 with a 3. And, you know, Georgia, as we talked about them being so poor, a free throw shooting team, if it comes down to free throws, we'll see if Georgia improves, but this is the worst free throw shooting team in 45 years of Georgia basketball.
Well, they better get good because they're attacking the goal right now. They're going to go to the line.
Stoops! Cuts it.
Great drive. Great drive.
Wofford trying to get their offense going again. Wilkerson drives, ran over a man. It's going to be a blocking foul called on Gaines.
You want to see great penetration off the dribble. Set up by a ball fake. With a foot fake and a ball fake. Challenges a goal extremely hard. Knocks it down. Levi Stoops, big game player. And he needs to step up right now. And I knew if they got the ball in his hands that he would.
13 points now for Stooks. Both Stooks and Tony shooting very well here in this ball game, but Wilkerson's back at the line again, and he hits it.
You know, seniors got to step up, especially when you got a guy that's the only returning starter and a guy that's got the most minutes. He's been a big game player, actually. Even before last year, there was games last year where he would step up and just play extremely well.
Borders checks in for Taylor. Look at that, 23. This will be the 24th free throw for Wofford in this game, and they miss it, and Tony gets the rebound.
Steve Newman and Berg working over one.
Womack! Down to 2.
Well, they put it in a half-court game right now, and Georgia's loving it. Georgia a little bit more physical right now than the Terriers. You got the crowd involved in the game. If they can get Wilkerson under control.
Tony blocked the shot, but Wilkerson gets it back and jams.
What a play! What a play!
4-point lead for the Terriers.
That's one of the few loose balls that the Terriers have picked up and put in the basket. Georgia has picked up a handful.
Gaines.
You know where he's looking to go.
Right down the paint.
Right to the bucket.
Stooks works on his man, drives, left it short. Womack couldn't get the tip.
Boy, this Womack has stepped in and given some good minutes.
And the crowd loves him.
Oh, they gotta love him. I love him.
Underdog. Everybody loves the underdog.
I don't believe he's passed up many meals, I'll tell you that.
Stevens driving on his man, gives it up to Borders. Borders gets it down on the baseline to Wilkerson. He's working on Newman. Newman, they're doubling him. Gibson takes a 3 and hit it.
That was a great kick out. First time they've had an open look from 3 in quite a long time. It's all created by inside-outside play.
Yeah, you've been saying that all afternoon, and it's true. They get their threes by penetrating, and that's
sure
exactly
do.
what happened there. Gaines drives the hole and dishes off to Stooks, who put it in.
Well, Wofford's inability to guard the dribbler right now, I don't know if it's dead legs or I don't know if it's great play by the Bulldog, but something has happened. They're not controlling it.
Wilkerson's worn out.
Well, he can't play a long time. He cannot play big minutes. And they say he works like a dog in practice. It's not conditioning, it may be something else.
He's working on Newman right now. Tries to go by him and does. Kicks out, threw it away.
He's trying to do too much. He sees the game's getting a little bit close. He's a leader on the ball club. He's trying to do things that a guard needs to be doing.
Timeout on the floor, 6:40 to play. Wofford has a 5-point lead on Georgia here on CSS.
Yeah, that's great. That's good stuff. I'm going to tell you, they need to look for him more because he works like a dog to get open. He really works. See what's happening now? They're attacking the goal so hard off the dribble that they're having to rotate over defense and they're dropping it off the guys to lay it up right now.
Wofford a 5-point lead on Georgia with 6:40 to play. Matt Stewart, Sonny Smith with you at the Stegman Coliseum. Our next Georgia broadcast on CSS coming up on Tuesday, December 28th as the Bulldogs play host to Savannah State. That's Tuesday, December 28th at 7 o'clock Eastern, right after Sports Night here on CSS. So out of the timeout, Wofford with a 5-point lead on Georgia. Channing Toney, a career-high 17 points today, came in averaging 8.2 per game. He's had 9 in the first half, 8 here in the second half. And Sunday out of Gaines walks it up for the Bulldogs.
Well, he has really worked to get open, and they have tried to defend him with 5 different people, and he's just everywhere as he makes a great move to get free then.
Toney gets it to Gaines.
Adrian
Newman looking inside.
Adrian Borders has started to stop Toney. Stevens has.
And Toney comes flying in and cleans it up.
He's really working. They need to look to him, and that's what they're doing. That was a great offensive rebound. Career high, 17 points.
19 now following that basket. Bird puts it off the glass.
What a great drive to the basket by Adrian Borders and drop off. Beautiful penetration and kick.
Toney fouled by Stevens as he reached in and grabbed the ball. And here's the play by Channing Toney off the miss by Stooks.
Stooks lines up, gets a good look. We don't get the block out. And that is very, very good. Justice Stevens does not get the block out on Toney.
And then the other end, that was the basket by Berg off the feed by Borders. So Toney's at the line.
I tell you, he's got the size, he's got the quickness, he's very court aware, and he works to get open. Playing without the ball is the key to becoming good, and that's very hard to learn as a freshman, and he's learning very, very well.
21 points for Channing Toney. Marshall with 4 fouls drives, had his shot swatted by Adrisi, and Stooks comes up with it.
But Eric Marshall's been in foul trouble the whole ballgame. He feels like he's got to contribute, and he's taken 2 bad shots. He really doesn't have to do that. They got too many people that can score.
Stooks up top to Newman. He'll take a 3 and hit it. Game is tied.
We said earlier that he could step out and knock it down, and he really can do that. He's not a big-time shooter, but he's got a good-looking 3-point shot.
Deadlocked at 71 and a timeout called by Wofford. So the Bulldogs have not been this close in quite a while.
Well, you know what's happening right now is you got an interesting situation here. You got a senior-laden ball club that's making some mistakes, like taking some bad shots. You got some freshmen that's playing a little bit more under control right now. That's where the spurts are coming from. A big-time 3 by Steve Newman.
And Newman has only 5 points today after scoring 16 in his last ball game against Oregon State. But big basket for him right there to pull Georgia even with Wofford after the Bulldogs have trailed by as much as 12 points here in the second half.
Absolutely.
Find out who the best of the best were in Georgia high school football this past season. It's the CSS All-Georgia High School Football Awards Show coming up Thursday night at 7 o'clock, and then many of those players will be seen in the Georgia Coaches All-Star Game immediately following. It all starts at 7 o'clock Thursday, right after sports night here on CSS.
I wonder how long Coach Young is going to keep Howard Wilkerson on the bench. Now, both of us, you brought it up earlier, you could see that he was dragging a little bit physically. Now, he's the key to winning this game for them because he's such a big shot taker. I wonder how long he will have to stay over there. And Mike Young knows his team. He'll know when to put him back in.
Well, we're down to 5:03. So I imagine if you put him back in, you're going to want him in there for the run.
Here he comes.
He's coming back in. You're exactly right.
Usually when a guy's in foul trouble, you hold him to the 5-minute mark, real foul trouble. And if he's a fatigue problem, you got to find out how long it needs for him to sit on the bench so that he's ready to go. And it's been about 2 to 3 minutes for him this time.
There you see Georgia shooting over 50%
13
here in the second half, and Wofford's just under 50%.
But they haven't been getting the looks that they did earlier. There have been a lot of penetration, some bad shots taken. There they got a good look.
Daniels, air ball. Georgia has a chance to take the lead. They get it in the hands of Channing Toney. He'll hand off to Stooks, Newman, and then Gaines. Tony, a 3 for the lead. Off the front of the rim, Gibson grabs the rebound.
Well set up. Got a good look. Unable to knock it down. They got it where they wanted
to Wilkerson. Wilkerson got it in there, and Wofford has a bucket lead again.
Levi Stooks must step up now for Georgia. And I tell you, we've already mentioned Wilkerson. He's got to step up. The big shot takers have got to get involved in the game. Wilkerson just did.
Bliss with 4 fouls comes to the scorer's table, and he'll check in for Adrisi on the next dead ball.
And I think that's a good substitution. Physicality.
Stooks. 3, hit it! Georgia's got the lead.
Well, that's what you want. Late in the ball game, your best players getting the ball in their hands.
And that is Georgia's first lead of the entire game. Wilkerson working on Adrisi. Adrisi trying not to give up any room, and he draws the foul. Wilkerson got Adrisi to foul him. Adrisi's not that big. I mean, he's tall, but he's not that big, and he's given up some size to Wilkerson, and he was using that to his advantage.
He's giving up a weight advantage for sure.
Don't go away. 1-point game with 3.5 minutes to play.
Dennis come out all the way out to midcourt and met Adrisi. And what he was jumping him about was playing behind that guy in the paint.
Yeah.
He needs to be fronting him until he gets in a position where they can lob over him, and he's not doing it. See, Georgia's got Wofford in a situation where they can't run double the post now. They'll knock down a 3 on them. So, before they were rotating down double in the post, they took the post players out of the game. You might see a basket or 2 by a post player here before it's over. Georgia has shot the lights out. And how many threes have they made in the second half? Yeah, I knew that was the biggest bet.
Georgia leads in this ball game for the first time today. It's a 1-point lead with 3:39 to play, and they've done it by hitting some big 3-point shots here in the second half. Coming up immediately following the conclusion of this broadcast, it's the Best of Sports Night, our recent conversation with Atlanta Braves pitcher John Smoltz. That's coming up at 5 o'clock Eastern here on CSS.
John Smoltz becoming a starter again.
Yeah, things have really changed for the Bulldogs, rather for the Atlanta Braves, adding Tim Hudson to the rotation.
I love that man. He's a great pitcher.
Out of Phoenix City, Alabama, played at Auburn, always wanted to be a Braves player, now he is.
He'll add something to it.
Wilkerson at the line again. Seems like we've been saying that the entire second half, and he missed that one. He'll get one more to tie it.
I think playing back-to-back probably has affected Wilkerson, even though he's had good numbers more than anybody else, because he's had to go to the bench way too many times.
Game is tied at 74. I tell you what, as they put on the full court pressure, Wofford's had a crazy schedule. They played App State on December 11th. And then played Charleston Southern last night, Georgia today, and then won't play again until December 31st against South Carolina. Newman drives the hole, and Wilkerson makes a great play to not foul him and make him change his shot, and here comes Wofford, a chance to take the lead.
They got the ball in the hands of the guy that needs it.
Borders drives, dishes out. Daniels from 3, he's deadly, but misses that time, and Newman got the rebound. He had an open look and missed it. Daniels doesn't do that often.
Not very often. He had to rush it just a little bit, and I think that's just enough to make him miss. There is a double on the post.
Newman for 3, left it short. Kick out rebound to Fields. He's by himself and will drive and get fouled by Stooks. and he'll go to the line for 2.
Byron Fields needs to just take that ball to the basket instead of hesitating like he did then.
Well, you see him kind of hesitating there, but I mean, you're right. I mean, he's not a great free throw shooter.
No.
He's better off trying to take it to the hole and get the basket.
Well, I tell you what, I like the way he plays the game. He plays with his head up, he plays with balance, he's very court aware, and he's going to be put in these situations, as you mentioned earlier in the contest, many, many times being the point guard. He's got to be able to knock down things like this.
Well, he's shooting much better from the free throw line this afternoon. He is now 5 of 7 after coming into the ball game, 7 of 17 on the season.
Yeah, I know. And he's going to get, by the way, a lot of the reason for what the situation is right now, they've only been in a few close contests.
Wofford
big.
Now up 2 with just under 3 minutes to play.
Now, who do you think's going to get this ball, Matt?
Well, it's going to be Stooks or Tony.
I believe you're right. Good coaching. You can coach my team.
Well, Tony's got it right now.
And he's got the ball screen, but they slipped the screen. He got 2 screens, which is great coaching.
And Tony gives it up to Gaines. Ball was kicked by Taylor out of bounds.
That's about the 3rd time somebody from Wofford's kicked it. They must have been working on field goal kicks. They're hitting the ball way too many times to the feet. Now, Georgia, keep this in mind, has been good on dead ball situations. They've been good. They've been getting guys wide open. They didn't get it then.
Stooks comes open up top. They bounce it into Bliss, and he lost it. And here comes Borders.
They need to give the ball up to Fields and get something going here. Not force anything.
Cross court. Daniels takes a 3 and left it short. Wilkerson got the rebound, though, and put it in with the left hand.
He's a man. He is a man when it comes to offensive rebounding. That was a big, big play right there.
19 points for Wilkerson. 4-point lead for Wofford. Sunday out of Gaines takes a 3 and airballed. Bliss chases it down in the corner, though. Tony had a 3, passed it up, gives it to Stooks, who does take the 3, in and out. Bliss got the rebound, and there's a whistle. And what's the call?
Sam Daniels fouls, and Sam is just being physically beat up by the young man Dave Bliss, who is really going to the board unbelievable. And they got a little thing going to it. They've been slapping the ball on one another here. This game is a physical basketball game. This game has been a well-played game.
Dave Bliss, corn-fed from Wisconsin. He's a big boy. Now he's at the line for the 1-and-1.
Let's see what the young man under pressure situation, who's played very well today, does from the free throw line. He's a fairly good free throw shooter. Good looking shot, by the way.
Cuts it down to 3. Bliss on the season shooting 61.1% from the line.
Wofford needs to get the ball in the hands of Fields and let him create some situations for open plays right now.
It's back to 2. Bodies go tumbling to the floor.
Physical play has not been missing from the game today.
You'd hardly know this is the first time these two teams have played since 1927.
Hey, maybe that's why they're mad at one another.
They play like they've got a history with each other. Wilkerson missed the shot, got his own rebound, and put it in.
Oh, he's a man. And look, Fields had the basketball. Who gets the ball? Wilkerson gets the ball. That's good coaching.
4-point game. Gaines takes it to the hole, missed the layup, and
Bad
here comes
shot.
Borders. And now Wofford has a 4-point lead in the ball and the clock in their favor.
Borders doesn't need this ball. Fields needs this basketball.
Down to 1 minute left.
Fields needs to come and get the basketball.
Borders working on Stooks.
Best assist man in the conference.
Taylor drives, kicks out to Daniels. The running clock, they're down to 5 on the shot clock.
there.
In the corner, the three-pointer by Fields, and a timeout called by Wofford, and that just might do it.
Did I say Fields needed the ball? I'm starting to feel like a coach. Don't hire me. If I ask for it, don't hire me. What a shot. What a big-time play.
They're going to count that as only a 2, not a 3, so it's 82-76.
All right, let's take a look. Wilkerson, now watch him go get the ball after he misses it. He works hard. Good pump fake, good balance, good strength around the basket, puts it up.
23 points for Wilkerson
He's a
in
man.
this ball game. And then there's Fields, who hit the 3.
And it was a 2.
He
was inside the line.
Yeah, I keep calling it a 3. It was a 2, and so it's a 6-point lead for Wofford.
What do you count for no field goals in the last 3 minutes by Georgia? Because they have been working the ball. Basically, an ill-advised drive to the basket one time may have been but other than that, they have gotten good looks at the goal. 2 well-coached games here today by 2 outstanding young head coaches.
And how about Wilkerson? We talked about him at the top of the broadcast, how this season against teams like Auburn, Tennessee, and Miami, he's averaged 22 points per game. Yeah. Now he's got 23 against Georgia.
Now, Wofford doesn't want to kill the clock with a foul. They need to guard them, stay between them and the goal, and give them 1 shot. Now, can they do that? I doubt it.
Newman tried to force it in there to Bliss, and it's going to be Georgia's ball as it's kicked out of bounds by Wofford. That's at least 4 times here they kicked it out of bounds in this half.
Somebody kicked it out.
Stooks for 3. He got fouled. He'll go to the line for a chance to take 3 at the line.
I said you cannot commit a foul. There's no need committing a foul and killing that clock. Now you're going to go to the line and shoot 3. And that's just not a good play by Adrian Borders.
Well, I mean, Georgia gets the opportunity here to cut the lead in half with the clock not moving.
The 3 doesn't hurt you half as bad as that foul does, and it's kind of demoralizing situation to foul a 3-point shooter. Wofford is 19 for 28 from the free throw line at 68. Georgia's 12 for 19. A lot of free throws being shot, and that was a shot that should not have been contested.
Stooks hit the first, so it's down to 5.
Now, they're doing a little bit of offensive, defensive playing with the Wofford team here. They're putting in an offensive team of free throw shooters and ball handlers coming into the game right now. That's another good move by Coach Mike Young.
Well, Stooks gets 1 more here as mass substitutions for the Terriers.
Well, it's a 2-possession game right now, and he can cut it to a 1-possession game, and that is that's why that foul was such a devastating thing. They did not need to foul in that situation.
Well, it's a 1-possession game now because it's 82-79 following the 3rd free throw by Levi Stooks. Marshall gets fouled by Tony.
And that is a good foul. A man that's been on the bench for well over 80% of the game. Even though Marshall is an 83% free throw shooter, you take a timeout and say, we're going to get the ball in the hands of our best free throw shooters, and he substitute them into the game. But they foul a guy that has not been playing. And that kind of negates the great shooting ability that he's got.
Well, and also, it only took 0.8 of a second off the clock.
Which is good for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Tony fouled him in less than 1 second. And he missed the first.
Now, I always thought shooting percentage of a guy does not make any difference if he has not been in the ball game. There's a difference between being loose and going in shooting tight.
Timeout on the floor with 27.2 seconds remaining. And Wofford's lead still 3, and Marshall's going to have 1 more free throw. Georgia, look at this, 5 of 11 on 3-pointers here in the second half when they came into the ball game shooting only 28% from behind the arc.
The game has totally changed. They've had some time in practice to work on things. They're getting looks now. They're getting open looks. They're not having to take threes rushed and off the dribble as they have somewhat earlier in the season. They're getting good looks because they're going inside out. They're getting great penetration to the basket, Matt, and kick-outs. They're getting some good looks. And Tony looks to me like he's going to be a player that can hit the open shot.
Yeah, Channing Tony, Levi Stooks with 21 points apiece, 42 of the Bulldogs, 79 from those 2 players today. And then Howard Wilkerson, we knew he was going to be able to do it today. He's got 23 points for the Wofford Terriers, but Marshall's at the line. The spotlight and focus on him right now as he's got 1 more free throw.
He needs to make this to make it a 2-possession game. Best free throw shooter on the team, been on the bench for a long time. You do your coaching. What would you do?
I'd hit it, but he missed it.
Yeah.
And Georgia's got the ball, and traveling is going to be the call. Tough break for the Bulldogs as Levi Stooks came down with the rebound and fell down and was called for traveling.
Mike, needs to get a timeout. One of the two coaches need a timeout to set up, because it's going to be very, very difficult the way Georgia gets after you to get the ball inbounds. And you can bet right now you're going to see some people glued to people.
What a tough break for Georgia.
Oh, it's unbelievable tough break.
Levi Stooks, great hustle. Georgia beat him off the on the rebound, and he fell down and called for travel.
Well, the thing you're going to say is, Stooks fell down with that ball. But the thing about it, there was no way they should have gotten the ball, but they were such great efforts. They gave great effort and ended up with a basketball, and he just couldn't keep his balance.
Well, here's the next 5 games for the Georgia Bulldogs. On Wednesday, they'll play Bethune-Cookman, and that'll be their final game before Christmas. And then the final week of the 2004 calendar year, we'll have both of those games for you here on CSS when the Bulldogs host Savannah State and then Stetson. And then Georgia's SEC opener coming up on January 5th when the Bulldogs play host to the Tennessee Volunteers. Then they'll go on the road for the first time in the SEC when they play at the Colonial Center against Dave Odom's South Carolina Gamecocks.
I'd get the ball in the hands, not a free throw shooter as much as I would somebody can hold the ball. There's a good man to have it.
Stooks is going to be called on the foul, and Borders will go to the line for 2. 3 fouls now on Stooks, so that's not an issue with 22.8 seconds.
A good free throw shooter on the line, a great track star. Have you seen his feats as a track star? This guy's one of the best track athletes in the country at one time.
Let's see if he can hit some free throws. He missed that one. Georgia, since taking the lead at 74-73 with 3:51 to play, has not hit a basket from the field.
Well, they need to make this a 2-possession game. It's going to be tough.
They've missed 3 consecutive free throws.
They missed 4.
Oh, he hit that one.
Yeah, they missed 3. That's right.
So it's a 4-point game with 22.8 as Mike Young calls a timeout.
Well, now here's the question. The only way they can do it is hit the 3 and get fouled at the same time to get back in it. Now the question is, play solid defense between your man and the basket and don't foul. Right. Now the question for Georgia is, do we get a 2? Do we get whatever we can and then foul to get the ball back? Because they're not making them.
I think because of the time issue, I think you take whatever they give you.
You're exactly right.
If the lane is open, take the quick basket and foul again. Don't try to set up for a 3 if they're guarding against the 3.
Absolutely. Take what the defense gives you. Now, the secret for Wofford is to play solid defense without fouling.
Gaines will bring it up for Georgia, and the clock is running.
Penetration.
He's going to go all the way to the hoop and lay it in. So Georgia gets the quick 2, and it's down to 2, and Georgia calls a timeout again.
Now, 2 things quickly. The Terriers must get the ball inbounds. That's number 1, getting it in.
Right.
Number 2, they got to get it into a great free throw shooter. Georgia, on the other hand, they have got to deny the great 3-point shooters, and they have got to make the ball go into the worst free throw shooter that they can possibly find. Now, those things are easily said and very, very difficult to do. And the key to it is a man taking the ball out of bounds, being aware of all those situations.
Well, each team now has 1 timeout remaining. Let's check our free throw shooters out there on the floor.
Borders is good. Marshall is great.
Marshall 75, on Borders 75%. We told you Marshall is at 78%. Daniels out there at, he was only 4 of 6.
Got fouled before the time, which is the one factor that I should have mentioned. If you can create a foul situation with no time off the clock and it not be an intentional foul, that's a good coaching job by Dennis Felton.
That's exactly what they just did. No time off the clock. So Wofford comes down to the line, still 16.1 seconds, and Borders is there on the stripe. He was 1 of 2 his last time there just a few seconds ago.
Well, he's got tremendous pressure on him right now.
Hit that one. And now he can make it a 2-possession game again.
If he does that, then I think a quick timeout would be to set up some defense. Get your defense set. Whether Dennis would call a timeout or not and let them set up defense, I don't know. He missed
it. Gaines got the rebound. Georgia can tie. Brophy kicks out to Evans. To the hot hand, Tony, and he hit it! Game tied with 7.2. Taylor brings it up for Wofford. Down to 3 seconds. Borders drives and misses at the buzzer. We have overtime.
Fitting ending to the regulation time by a player that had the biggest game of his career, knocking down a 3 to put it in overtime.
Channing Tony hits the clutch 3 with 7.2 seconds left in regulation.
You can see a quick rotation of the ball. Nobody covered Channing Tony, the guy that's been knocking them down, and that was a great basket.
And Channing Tony now has 24 points as we go to an extra 5 minutes. Game tied at 84 and headed to overtime here on CSS.
What a game.
How about that?
Should never have happened, though. You could foul, still win the game. Now, you could foul, put them on the line, still let them take the 3. But he didn't match up properly. They didn't even have anybody on Tony.
They didn't have anybody out there.
They were doubling the basketball. Hey,
Ken,
Borders.
Tony's got 24, right? They haven't added his 3 yet. Yeah, but they didn't add his 3 because I said that earlier that he and Stooks had 21 apiece. They haven't added his 3 in yet.
I would put my money on the Bulldogs right now. I want that to go out over there.
Give it to somebody else because it adds up to 84.
Wofford and Georgia tied at 84 as we get ready for the start of overtime. And Georgia has led just one time in this entire game. That was at 74-73 at the 3:51 mark when Channing Tony hit a big basket.
Absolutely.
And then Tony hits the basket with 7.2 seconds left, a 3-pointer to send it to overtime.
Yeah, they didn't do a good job of matching up coming down there. Too much doubling of the dribbler because they were not aware of how much time was left. They thought they could defend the dribbler with 2 men and have the clock run out. It didn't happen that way. And you got to give Santiago Gaines a great credit there because he moved the ball quickly around the perimeter.
Well, back where we started, we're tied up at 84. It's been so long since they tipped, we're having to teach them how to do it, and Bliss wins the tip for Georgia.
Wilkerson needs a break. He's really struggling right now. It's the conditioning part of it.
Stooks out top gets it to the hot hand Tony. He's working on Taylor, drives into the paint, had some trouble with his dribble, kept it alive, and then feeds to Gaines, who got too far underneath the basket, but then got it back and put it in.
I tell you what, he's an opportunist. He goes after the basketball. Second chance opportunities have been big for the Bulldogs today.
Bounce into Wilkerson. He got tied up. They call a jump ball. It's going to be Wofford's ball. Watch the hustle of Santiago Gaines.
You're going to see great effort right here. Gets a good look at the basketball, goes back and gets it, and nobody attacks the defensive rebound for the Terriers. A very good job by Georgia.
Fields wants to get it to Wilkerson and does. He's being guarded by Newman. Backing in on Newman, tries to get position around him and puts it in. 25 points for Howard Wilkerson in this ballgame.
They're doing a good job of getting the ball to the guy that can deliver the mail.
Inside to Bliss. He's being guarded by Daniels. That's a mismatch, I think. Bliss waits for the double team and then gets it to Newman, who puts it in.
They're letting cutters run a little bit too free to the goal right now, the Terriers are. Not fronting the cutters, and that would help a lot Too many good looks to go right point blank on the basket. There he gets another wide open.
Wow, look at that. He's going to go to the line.
That's what you call a good foul. That was a foul that prevented the basket right there. You get that kind of foul, and I like Dave Bliss's physical play.
I mean, Wilkerson just looks like he is worn out.
Well,
but he keeps making plays.
You know, I talked to Mike Young. He says he looks like he's worn out, and he does get, but they say he's one of the hardest workers on the ball club. They said he's a clean liver, he's a great kid, but there's just something that will not allow him to play big minutes, and he's a guy that they need. Now, he's even, when you see guys grabbing their trunks and holding on to their trunks and bending over when they're on the line, you know that fatigue is a big factor, and he's a guy that has to stay out here. Bliss has had a great game today for him. For a freshman not with big minutes, he gets 8 points and 6 rebounds, and he has been the physical guy around. The presence of physicality around the basket has been Bliss.
Yeah. But he just fouled out, so Matt Womack checks in for him. And Wilkerson, they've had all kinds of troubles with their free throws down the stretch.
When that guy's fresh, he's not going to miss those free throws because he's a big game shooter.
It was the missed free throws down the stretch that allowed the Bulldogs to send this game to overtime.
Absolutely.
It's a 1-point lead for Georgia. The 2-point lead they had just a second ago was their biggest lead of the game.
Well, you got to look at the fact that Wofford's playing back-to-back games, and Georgia hadn't played in a while. Is conditioning going to be a factor in the ball game? I don't know, because they've used a lot of players. I don't think you can say that. Good patience by the Bulldogs.
Stoops is called for traveling. And Dennis Felton wanted an explanation.
Well, I don't think a defensive player was near that turnover. I think he hit it on his own player's back. I think that's what caused the turnover. It looked like he was fouled from the back, and that's why officials are good at what they do.
Wofford can take the lead again.
Wofford needs to get the ball in the hands of some ball handlers. You got the big guys out at midcourt controlling the ball, and that's not going to good. And you got Georgia, who's like a bunch of loose dogs right now, really mad at the world. They're going after everything.
And a timeout called by Wofford, exactly for what you're talking about there. Daniels is up at the top of the key. He's running the offense. He's like, hold on a second, I'm not supposed to be up here doing this. Like you said, they need to get into the hand of the ball handlers, and he calls the timeout.
And Mike Young does something that maybe he will help his situation. He puts another ball handler in the game, takes out one of the bigger guys. Now, the key right now is Fields is a guy that needs to get the ball in his hands, and Stevens has handled it very well. Borders can handle the ball, so they need to get the ball in the hand of ball handlers.
Timeout with 2:41 to play in the first overtime. Georgia leads Wofford by 1 on CSS. .241 to play in the first overtime. Georgia leading Wofford 88-87. Wofford going for their 8th win of the season. Bulldogs looking for their 4th, and it has been an uphill climb for Georgia the entire ballgame. They trailed by as much as 12 points in the second half, led just once in regulation, and have led once right now here in this first overtime.
Man, let's see what happens on the inbounds play. Now, here you're sitting here with 12 seconds left on the shot clock. If their big guys end up with it out at midcourt, they're not going to get a good shot. So they need to get the ball in the hands of somebody who can handle it, and they have done that. He's a young freshman, but he's capable of making big plays.
Gibson, they're down to 5 on the shot clock. He's doubled. They get it to Daniels, swing it around to Taylor, who's got to take the shot. Misses. Rebound grab by Gaines.
Good defensive stand by the Bulldogs.
Now Georgia, we'll see if they run some clock here. Nope, Stooks drives and missed the shot, and Wilkerson comes away with it. Taylor ahead of the pack and now slows it down.
Big guys rotating away from the goal. They're trying to go 4 on the perimeter and get Wilkerson freed up inside.
Down to 10 on the shot clock.
There he is.
Wilkerson, stolen by Newman, and he stepped on the baseline.
That was not a change of the clock there. We've got 8 seconds left on the clock. Great defense by Georgia.
Let's see, did he step on the baseline?
I think that he did, but he took 2 steps anyhow, so it didn't make any difference.
Down to 4 on the shot clock. Gibson with 3 on the shot clock, missed the shot, and here's Tony with the rebound.
Good defensive stand again by the Georgia Bulldogs. They have really shown some character defensively here today. And you say that with 87 points on the board, but that they really have when it counted.
Down into Womack. He's backing down on Daniels. Kicks out to Tony, who's left wide open, and he missed the shot. That was as open as he's been the entire game. Gets it back, kicks to Stooks. Wait, we had a foul.
Had a charge by Tony. He jumps up in the air to make the pass. It slid up and under him. It was a good call by the officials. But not, I don't fault the young man for that. He made the drive, drew the defense, threw the pass, could not get his balance, and the charge was drawn by the Terriers. This is a big possession, and I see that they're coming with another ball handler into the game.
Yeah, they're going to bring Stevens back in.
The interesting thing is we don't see Fields in the ball game. He showed an injury earlier. Maybe he is hurt. He hit his head on the floor. And I don't know if there's something wrong, but he's out of the ball game now. It could be what you mentioned earlier in the ball game. It might be because of free throw shooting.
Although he has shot his free throws well today.
I think what you look at when you look at free throw shooting, Matt, is you look at how do guys shoot the ball late in a ball game.
Yeah, under pressure.
Not what are their shooting percentages. And that young man has shot them pretty well.
Let's see. They're going to go with Gibson and Wilkerson. Borders, Stevens, and Daniels. So they got 3 guards in there, 3 guys that can handle the ball. Georgia goes with Gaines, Womack, Newman, Brophy, and Stooks.
They have gone small. Georgia is still gone big. So we really have a mismatch somewhere on the perimeter.
1 minute. Inside Wilkerson. Gives Wofford the lead again. 27 points for Howard Wilkerson.
Let's see who takes this shot. Stooks going to get this basketball. Tony going to get this basketball. Are they going to be
not
patient?
On the floor.
Out, you're right.
Stooks to Newman to Gaines. Gaines drives and forces it up there. Got it to fall. That gives Georgia the lead, and he'll go to the line for a chance to complete the 3-point play.
I tell you what, when he gets the basketball, he's tunnel vision going to the goal, and he adjusts the ball, protects the ball, he's strong. And I tell you, I like their chances when he's penetrating with the basketball.
Gaines was 16 on the day.
This is a big free throw right here.
Missed it, and Wofford comes down the floor with a chance to take the lead.
And Georgia's going to get the ball back.
There's 30 on the game clock. There's a difference of 3 between the shot and the game, and Wilkerson missed the shot! Battle for the rebound. It's going to be Wofford's ball, and that gives them the ball. And the shot clock turns off, or does it?
They didn't have control.
Got
18 seconds left on the shot clock. No,
they're going to give them a fresh, so that means they get the ball 21 seconds and no shot clock. They can play for the final shot here, and a timeout is called by Georgia.
It might be, since they're not unable to guard Gaines with those real small people, it might be their advantage to get a little bit bigger guy guarding him, because they're going to get the ball back unless they commit a foul. You know, a good thing to do would be hold the ball here until you got 3 or 4 seconds left, so you got a chance to get a shot up and the possibility of getting it back. That is big from the standpoint of the Terriers. Now, Georgia's situation is they have got to play great defense without the foul. And that is going to be very difficult to do. Now, what are they going to do down here on the Terriers? Are they going to try with a full shot clock to run time off the clock and get it into Wilkerson for the final shot, which is probably what they're going to do.
21.4 seconds left in this first overtime. Georgia with a 1-point lead. Wofford has the ball. The shot clock is off.
The biggest thing right here is being able to get the ball inbounds.
They haven't done it yet, and they finally do, but a foul was called on the inbounds, and that's going to put Wofford on the line.
Well, I tell you what, now what they've done, Georgia fouled again with the clock dead. That means they're going to have the full 21 seconds to go down and get the shot that they want. Now, is that good? Yes, it is.
But at the same time, perhaps you're conceding the lead. If Borders hits both of his free throws, you conceded the lead.
He fouled a good free throw shooter, too.
But he missed it. So the worst that you have right now is a tie game and the ball and the whole clock for yourself.
Absolutely right.
And now a timeout call.
When we go back and start analyzing this game at the end, we're going to say this is going to come down to missed free throws, isn't it?
Oh, Wofford killed themselves with missed free throws. They're going to go on the ride back to Spartanburg. Well, if they don't win this ball game, they're going to kick themselves all the way back to Spartanburg because they had this ball game won and missed free throws down the stretch when all they had to do was hit a few ones here and there, and they would have won this game in regulation.
Absolutely. And by the way, one of the big factors in shooting the basketball is your legs. We'd have to wonder how dead are their legs on a ride all the way back from Charleston to Spartanburg and to drive down here today, get here just in time to get dressed and play. Is that a factor? I tell you what, I don't think it's as much a factor as it is. Georgia has just been getting after them. They've made tremendous pressure defense with a lot of effort.
And here's a look at Wofford's upcoming schedule. Their next game isn't until New Year's Eve when they take on South Carolina at the Colonial Center and in Erskine, and then UNC Greensboro, followed by College of Charleston and Chattanooga as they get into the full thrust of their SoCon schedule.
You know, an interesting thing right now, you've got Borders going to the line for the free throw. It's very difficult for the coach to talk about what do we do if he misses, because you don't want to say anything negative. So they got to know, if this ball is rebounded to Georgia, what do we do? We're going to foul him quickly and put a bad free throw shooter on the line. How are we going to react to this?
Well, let's see. Georgia has Stooks, Brophy, Gaines, Womack, and Newman out there. Womack only 2 free throw attempts the entire season.
If he grabs a rebound,
he's getting fouled. Oh, you absolutely believe it if he grabs the rebound.
Borders
missed it. Rebound by Newman, who's a good free throw shooter. He gets fouled and he'll go to the line.
They had the presence to foul quickly. Now they're going to have, if he makes both the free throws, they still got a 1-possession game, and they got a chance at 20 seconds to go. We got plenty of time left in the game. These are very critical free throws. He wants to put this thing to where they got to look for the 3 ball and not put Wilkerson in a situation where he can go.
Wofford shooting 65% from the free throw line today when they are typically a 77% free throw shooting team coming into this ball game. And that doesn't sound like a big difference, but it's a big enough difference to mean that they are trailing in this ballgame and even playing in this overtime as Sam Daniels is now fouled out on that foul on Newman.
It's not so much the free throws that they've missed as it's been the key free throws that they've missed. I mean, the game that could salted the game away here or there, they just have not been able to step up there and hit them. And I tell you what, this Newman kid is a good free throw shooter.
8 of 8 on the season from the free throw line.
Don't get much better than that.
But now the game's on the line. Let's see if he hits him with the game on the line. Nope. And now the best that Georgia can do is a 2-point lead, and then Wofford's going to have the ball with a chance to tie or win.
And Wofford takes Fields out of the game because of his free throw shooting ability and put someone else in. Now they are going to have to get serious blockouts because many times Georgia's got second shots.
Newman hit the second. It's a 2-point Georgia lead with 20 seconds to play. Shot clock off as the Terriers bring it into the front court.
Gibson's hanging on to the ball way too long.
Taylor drives the paint, kicks out. Stevens in the corner, missed it. Gains the rebound with 3 seconds. He's fouled. He'll go to the line. He'll have a chance to put the game away at the free throw line.
Terriers got a good look at the basket. The Bulldogs had great blockouts. They gave up only 1 shot, no second shots. Good job by both teams.
So Gaines goes to the line with Georgia leading by 2 and 2.5 seconds on the clock. 1 free throw keeps Wofford alive. 2 free throws puts them in their grave.
Greg Taylor gets a good drive to the basket. He kicks out for a wide open shot.
He had it. I mean, that's a great look in the corner.
Great look, and you had to surrounded the rebound and blocked out and got the rebound that they needed. The blockouts have been excellent by the Bulldogs today.
Gaines with 16 points on the day. Hit the first, and it's a 3-point lead for Georgia. 1 more will do it.
1 more will put the game away. And you know, if you go back and look at him, he has been aggressive in attacking the goal today and has knocked down actually a 3 today. I believe he has a 3. It's really close.
Georgia with a 4-point lead in 2.5 seconds. And that should just about do it. Inbound stolen by Brophy. The Bulldogs are going to win.
That was a great game by both teams. And what an enjoyable game to see. And by the way, a well-officiated ball game.
Georgia improves to 4-3 on the season, dropping Wofford to 7-3 with a hard-fought 93-89 victory here in overtime, Sonny.
It was a great game. It was an exciting game. Turned out to be free throw shooting at the end.
Bulldogs trailed by as many as 12 points in the second half, get up off the deck to extend their winning streak to 3. Coming up next, it's the Best of Sports Night. And now for our producer-director, Anthony Early, my partner, Sonny Smith, and the entire CSS crew. I'm Matt Stewart. So long from Athens, Georgia. See you Monday night in Mobile, Alabama.